Welcome to Better Edge, a Northwestern Medicine podcast for physicians. I'm Melanie Cole, and joining me today is Dr. Melissa Simon. She's the George H. Gardner, MD, Professor of Clinical Gynecology, Director of the Center for Health Equity Transformation, and Associate Director of Community Outreach and Engagement for the Robert H. Lurie Comprehensive Cancer Center. She joins me to discuss a transformative $16 million grant awarded to Northwestern Medicine over 5 years from the National Institutes of Health to support faculty recruitment and equity. Dr. Simon, it's a pleasure to have you join us today. As we know, data has shown that people from racial, ethnic minority groups are less likely to receive preventive health care across the board. There's really a disproportionate health burden. Can you start by telling us a little bit about the unique challenges these communities face and the lack of people that look like them in the healthcare industry?
Thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate this opportunity. Yes, I have spent my entire academic and physician career focused on not just achieving health equity for everyone, but also to ensure that the workforce is more diverse, because both our healthcare and our scientific workforce are not as diverse as our population across this entire country. And indeed, we know from good research that when research studies are designed by diverse people and when clinical care is given by diverse people, diverse population members are actually more trustful of both the research and the clinical care and are more willing to engage in either the research or the clinical care or both. And this is really critical because right now we have a large issue with distrust in this country with respect to science and healthcare. And it's really important that we have as many diverse people with as many unique identities as possible in both those workforces. And that is what this grant seeks to do.
Excellent explanation, so comprehensive, and it really is true that there really is healthcare disparities, and as a result, the healthcare industry is now recognizing this, as you said. So tell us about this transformative grant that was awarded to Northwestern Medicine, about $16 million over 5 years from NIH. What is the funding from this grant designed to support?
Yes, this grant is supposed to be transformative. It is called Nurture, and that stands for Northwestern University Recruitment to Transform Underrepresentation and Achieve Equity. It is a highly competitive grant with many institutions trying to compete to be awarded one of these grants. We are in the second of 3 cohorts in the award, and there will be a total of approximately 15 sites across the country. And we are the only site in the Midwest region of the United States awarded this grant. This grant aims to do 2 main things. One is to hire diverse people from across 3 main scientific disciplines: cancer, cardiovascular, and brain, mind, and behavior, or neuroscience, into cohorts over a 2-year concentrated period. And these faculty will be early career and be fostered and supported throughout that time period of the 5 years and beyond to really reach a level of scientific excellence so that they can go on to be independent investigators and faculty at Northwestern. The second part of this grant aims to transform literally the way we do business with respect to hiring, onboarding, and retaining all kinds of faculty and clinicians across the entire institution. And that is a really important point, because as we hire the faculty, we are going to learn how the programs we use and the approaches we use to hire these faculty, how these approaches can actually contribute to improving the way we do the hiring, the entire hiring process and retention process. And that's critical for any institution these days that is in healthcare, because again, like I said earlier, ultimately, the goal is to ensure a strong and very diverse workforce across our entire university and Northwestern Medicine. Because when we have diverse identities all around the table, we ultimately can do a better job of educating students and faculty and others. In addition, we can create better research that actually meets the needs of populations. And finally, we can absolutely improve our way of addressing patients and engaging them in clinical care and ultimately helping to lift health for everyone.
Dr. Simon, as this grant is university-wide, you just mentioned, and you're talking about cancer, cardiovascular, brain, mind, and behavioral sciences, how does the school plan to use the grant? I'd like you to tell us a little bit about that and what the Nurture program really is.
So the Nurture program will aim to hire approximately 5 new faculty in their early stages of their career on what we call the tenure track across these 3 scientific disciplines in cohorts or clusters. And we will have programming embedded in this Nurture grant that will help support these diverse faculty and hires. The hires will be focused in the Feinberg School of Medicine, and a few will be also focused in McCormick School of Engineering and Weinberg School of Arts and Sciences, so across the university.
This is such an exciting, transformative grant. And in addition to supporting the hiring of faculty members from diverse backgrounds, tell us about the 3 cores that will be supported by the grant, enhancing that Nurture program.
Yes, I mean, this is a research grant. And so what we're really trying to do is use this approach and these programs that we embedded in this grant to actually see if we can improve how we hire diverse people with multiple different identities from across many different expertise areas in a better way and get them to really thrive in our institution. The 3 cores are essential to this grant. The 3 cores are the administrative core, which is where the principal investigators, myself, Dr. Eric Perul from the McCormick School of Engineering, and Dr. Clyde Yancey, the Vice Dean of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in the Feinberg School of Medicine, will administer the grant and coordinate all of the moving parts of the grant. In addition, we have Dr. Rich DeAquila, who is the head of NUCATS, which is the Northwestern University-wide Clinical and Translational Sciences Institute. And he will help support the administrative core with an trans-institutional-wide advisory committee that he will lead. And this will be important to help impact and influence institutional change. So as we are learning from the evaluation, which will be done by the second core, the evaluation core, in real time, we will be able to then feed that information and evaluation into that institution-wide committee that Dr. DeAquila will lead, and that will help promote transformational change across the institution with respect to these hiring and onboarding and retention practices. I think the third core is really important as well because it is the faculty development core, and that is where the programming for Nurture will lie and will support the 15 faculty that we hire in this cohort.
Dr. Simon, working with people from different backgrounds and cultures, really presents unique opportunities for collaboration and creativity in your personal experience. How do you see this materializing at Northwestern Medicine? How will this grant create change at Northwestern Medicine?
This grant is so exciting to me. It really is a dream come true, to be honest. I have spent my entire career, like I said, focused on health equity and issues around diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I have dedicated numerous hours and days and years to helping support diverse persons across the entire pipeline of academia and science and healthcare careers. And this grant will help create change in many ways across Northwestern Medicine. First, it will help hire 15 faculty from underrepresented backgrounds. That in and of itself is a huge change and beautiful addition to our current body of faculty that we have here at Northwestern Medicine. Second, this grant, as we evaluate the programs in real time, we are going to be able to then feed that information into the larger institution as a whole so that we can influence how business is done, how we hire and reach out to faculty, how we look at different CVs from people of different backgrounds, how we look at the way interview committees or search committees are performed, how we just interview people in general, and then how we onboard and retain faculty from numerous types of diverse backgrounds. These are all practices that should be examined and improved upon because we can always be better. Even though Northwestern Medicine is one of the best institutions in the region and in the country, we can always be better at doing this particular thing of hiring and retaining and helping faculty and clinicians and scientists to thrive regardless of who they are, regardless of their identities.
Beautifully said. It's so important to be introspective as you're describing this today and evaluate and adjust our own behaviors when it comes to the healthcare disparities. As we wrap up, Dr. Simon, what resources are available for people who'd like to know more about the Nurture program and this transformative grant?
There are websites that we are about to launch specific to Nurture. They will be launched in about 2 weeks from now in early to mid-November. And we will also have links on my Center for Health Equity Transformations website to the Nurture website. And finally, the National Institutes of Health actually has an entire website with all of the programs that Nurture is a part of. And it is called the FIRST grant, FIRST. And that is the NIH name for this grant.
Thank you so much, Dr. Simon. What an informative podcast and an excellent interview this was. Thank you again for joining us, and to refer your patient or for more information, please visit our website at breakthroughsforphysicians.nm.org to get connected with one of our providers. And that concludes this episode of Better Edge, a Northwestern Medicine podcast for physicians. Please always remember to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast and all the other Northwestern Medicine podcasts. I'm Melanie Cole.